Hello there and welcome to another edition of 21 Minutes with KKB. My name is Kwabna Chenhene Boateng. Today I have a very important guest right before me. He has quite a difficult job, I must say. He handles government machinery. He's been speaking on everything good and everything bad relating to government. And the past few days or weeks, I must say, he's come under a lot of attack. Some are saying he's not doing his job as effectively as he's supposed to, but of course, his fans are also of the view he's doing such a good job, right? We'll return from this break to introduce our guest for today and hopefully get some answers as to why we have over 998 people working at the Flagstaff House. Stay with us. Dr. Mustapha Abdul-Hamid is my guest today on 21 Minutes with KKB. Doc, good afternoon and thanks for joining us. At this point in time, I don't know what to say, but you know, it's a difficult situation I suppose you find yourself in. 998?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure you have seen the letter that the president wrote to the speaker. Exactly. And in that letter, he disaggregates if you want, the various components of that list. Okay? So really and truly, the people that he has appointed are in excess of 200. The rest of the 700 people are people who are working in various spheres inside the public service in organizations that are designated as office of the president. There are various organizations and agencies in our country which are not directly under any ministry or organization except under the office of the president. The Department of Parks and Gardens, GIPC, Ghana AIDS Commission, all of those organizations, National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan. There are many, many organizations which are under the office of the president. And they all have workers. So please, let's not continue to bandy the erroneous impression that every morning when you wake up from Monday to Friday, there are 998 people who are filed up and entering the gates of the Jubilee House, where they all have desks, or perhaps if you want, where some are hanging on ceilings and so on. Because quite frankly, it will be difficult to imagine space in the Jubilee House for 998 people. I'm sure everybody knows. Everybody in Ghana would know by now that that building would not house 998 people. So people who
So is it that the New Patriotic Party did not know at the time when they were in opposition suggesting that, oh, President Mahama has what, 678 or so?
897 actually, it turns out.
The list that was sent to Parliament didn't have 800 people on that list.
Well, the recent one that we have put out there, which is the latest that they put, I think this was in 2016. It's 897.
The list the Mahama government sent to Parliament was not 800. The list you sent to Parliament was 998.
I'm saying that it is 897. Let's go to substantive matters.
In that same list, there are quite a number of things that come up. Some have been suggesting duplication of roles. There are names that appear twice, one as photographer, one as camera person and the like. Essentially, many are saying it's even job for the boys. We are even hearing people such as the Imani boss criticizing you. We are hearing the CDD criticizing government and the like. I mean, this obviously puts you in a very difficult situation, does it not?
It doesn't put us in a difficult situation. When you are giving the mandate to run a country, you run it according to, first of all, the programs that you put before the Ghanaian people that got you elected in the first place, and the arrangements and structures that you put in place to be able to drive your mandate is what should matter to you. There is no way that all of this country is going to ever have a consensus on any matter. I'm putting it to you that it's not possible. That even if there was a president who went around giving everybody 1,000 Ghana cedis, there are people who would disagree and say we don't want it. So the point I'm making to you is that it is not possible to have a consensus on everything. Okay? I've also heard Professor Stephen Adai, Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, Professor Jampo, And the rest of them, you quoted Imani, that's what you choose
yes.
to quote. But these are other people who are also in the range of neutrals in our country, who have also said that, as far as they are concerned, it is the delivery at the end of the mandate period of the real works and output of government that will matter to them, rather than any number of people who do the job. So you might as well quote that one too.
So you don't think it's necessary or it's important for anybody to raise an issue that, well, I'm seeing a number of names, people I knew as social media commentators, or people I saw as commentators for the NPP, some way, somehow find their names. We see some of Brian Boabeng, for instance. We used to know him to comment on certain key issues. There are others, several others. And some way, somehow, they are just there. Well, we don't necessarily know the exact thing they do and how they are helping government achieve the several promises, for instance, you made to us some years ago.
The president, for example, appointed a director of research. That position was one of the very first positions that the president announced. If you remember, chief of staff, director of operations, director of research.
Research is critical.
And then some of his aides. Yeah. So have you found out the people who, you think Mr. Victor Newman is the only person who does all the research that informs government policy and tracks government records and policies and so on? It cannot be Mr. Victor Newman alone. So you should know that even inside the Jubilee House, there will be people who would constitute the research secretariat, for example. There will be people who would be in the office of the director of operations, for example, and so on and so forth. So if Samuel Brian Boabeng or whoever was an MPP activist has been given a piece of job to do in the Jubilee House.
Bunty Benjamin and the like?
Yes, of course. They are Ghanaians. I'm also a social media commentator. I have a social media account. In fact, I have accounts across all the entire social media. So to that extent, I'm also a social media commentator. But I am minister. Why? I don't qualify to be minister merely because I'm on Facebook.
What do these people bring to the table?
But you just said that they were activists and that they were engaged in the MPP's process, electioneering process. You said that.
So they are propagandists?
That is value. They are not propagandists.
What do they do?
They do a lot of research.
What do they do? So they do research?
Yes, they do research.
What kind of research?
Research that informs government policy. That's what everything that Mr. Victor Newman does. They assist him in doing them.
As spokesperson, particularly when the NPP was in opposition, a lot of people commended you for a good job done, and you did a lot to project the then candidate Akufo-Addo. Some way, somehow, some of these people are the same ones turning around to say, you know what, you're not doing such a good job as a minister. How do you take that? Is that a case? Are you doing such a poor job?
I don't know whether in Ghanaian terms it is okay. You know, these Ghanaians, people are arrogant. But I believe that I'm doing a wonderful job to the very best of my ability. The president. Why? There are Ghanaians who are saying that he's not doing well. You haven't heard that?
I have.
Exactly. So, and there are Ghanaians who are saying that he's doing wonderfully well. So it is the same with everybody. Therefore, opinions on what people do, even when we're in school, our lecturers, etc. There are some who say, this lecturer, I don't understand him. There are some who say, for me, he's my favorite lecturer, and etc., etc. That doesn't mean anything. Adakabre
Frimpomazo, he's a journalist, a senior journalist. He has come out to say that he thinks the media has been unfair to you. Do you agree with that? You think the media has been unfair to you?
I don't think the media has been unfair to me. What has the media done that is unfair?
Well, his comment was on the back of the fact that quite a number of people have been criticizing you, saying you're doing a poor job, you're not projecting government well. And so to him, well, we need to cut you some slack. And that, of course, it's a difficult job. You are doing the best you can. You are getting the necessary support from the people you need your support from and the like. So we are being overly critical of you.
Well, that's also his opinion. I am saying that. I don't want to pass judgment on myself. I believe that I'm doing the best that I can under the circumstances. And the president who gave me this job, I believe if he wasn't satisfied, by now would have taken me out of here. So the fact that I continue to occupy this space and to continue to do what I'm doing shows that the mandate given me by the president, he's very satisfied about it.
How about your deputies? How do you see their performance? For instance, a lot of issues have been raised with one of your deputies, Anama Dukwa Siameje, for instance, that we don't really know what she does. What does she do?
What does she do? She's responsible for coordinating all the agencies under the ministry, and she's also the government spokesperson on security matters. I'm sure recently you heard her when the Defense Cooperation Agreement issue came up. You heard her all over the place.
I didn't hear all over the place. I think I heard her on one occasion. That's it.
Well, that's what you heard. But she was on BBC.
And that was the occasion I'm referring to.
Yes, but she was on all of the networks.
No, I just heard her on BBC. That's all.
That's what you heard. I'm saying that I also heard her on Peace FM, on ZTFM, on Doi, everywhere else. I heard her and on the news portals and etc.
So you think she's doing a great job?
She's doing a great job. She's doing a great job.
She shouldn't be reshuffled?
Why?
Well, perhaps her expertise may be better served elsewhere.
I don't think she should. In any case, I don't qualify to pass the judgment. The only judgment I can pass to the president is that I like what she's doing, and then the rest is for the president to decide what to do.
Okay, so if the president came to you today and asked which of your deputies should go, she wouldn't be the one to go. That leaves
Nobody
two more.
will go. Nobody will go. They are all very wonderful people. Without them, I wouldn't be here.
But the onus is on you. You are the one taking all the flack. You are the one going here, coming here, doing this, doing that. And I must say, sometimes I see you on TV and like I say, okay, this guy is really tired. I can see from your face you are really tired. Perhaps if you had some more support, maybe you wouldn't have to go through so much stress yourself. If they were giving you the needed support.
I think they are. I think they are. I think they are. It's just a tough job. That's all. Finish. Because you are studying 36 briefs. There are 36 ministers. Every minister has just one brief. It's on local government, it's on lands, it's on defense, it's on this. Now, as Minister for Information, you are supposed to now learn all of those briefs. When people's lights go off at Dansoma, they call me. Say this morning.
The minister?
The Minister for Information. Yes. Oh, you haven't heard all these questions. You are asking me questions now. If I were to desegregate them, they will be health questions. You have asked me, as we sat here, questions relating to health. Questions in relation to employment, questions relating to economy in this one setting. Why? Otherwise, I could just simply tell you, sorry, I'm not finance minister. I said, you asked a labor question. I said, I'm not labor minister. I'm not defense minister. I'm not this, I'm not that. But I can't say that. I'm answering every question from every department of our governmental structure. So every day, I'm getting briefs from I'm supposed to get briefs from all the ministries and to study all of them before daybreak. Really and truly, if that is not a difficult job, I don't know what a difficult job is, quite frankly.
So I know as a way of getting the job done and done more effectively, you decided, well, the government decided to appoint certain spokespersons for certain key issues and key sectors of the economy as well. I've been trying to track some of these people, and well, I must admit some are really working. I have heard a number of them speak, but significant majority of them have not been as vibrant as we expected them to be.
Of which people?
You did appoint specific people as spokespersons for ministries and certain agencies. So I'm saying that much as I admit that some are working and we've heard some speak on very, very key issues, we can't say the same for the others who add up to the number.
Well, I believe that all of them are doing, but because they are sector specific, you see, and most often than not, people want to hear the voice of the minister. Every time my phone is buzzing from Gem FM in the Western region to Dav FM to Sun City. Now I can recite all the radio stations we have in this country from Radio Progress in the Upper West all the way to Gem FM in the Western region. Are you following me?
I do.
Because I'm talking to everybody. If you say you won't talk to them, they take it as an offense. Everybody wants to talk to the minister. And so there will be a point in time. For example, this question you started asking me about 9/9, as I said, if I had told you I won't talk about it, go and talk to the government spokesperson on governance and legal affairs. I'm sure you would take some offense.
Of course.
Exactly. So you need to appreciate the job that I do.
Is that why you had to throw such a jab at Kweku Bakong for saying what he only does research to go and sit on news file and that his job is nowhere compared to yours?
I didn't throw him a jab. Don't do that. It's not correct to do that.
What happened?
It's not correct. I answered the question faithfully. That being a minister for information is not the same as being a media person whose duty on a daily basis is to do research on certain topical issues and espouse them. But he himself has come out to say that my answer was correct. I'm sure you've heard him.
I have.
Exactly. And he says that it is true, that his job is not like me. And I'm putting it to you that if you are made Minister for Information today, you will not be on Newsfile every Saturday of your life. You simply cannot. It is not possible. It's not. These 2 past Saturdays, I've been in Upper East region and Northern region. This weekend, I'll be in Central region. So what time am I going to find to be sitting on Newsfile every Saturday? How am I going to do that? So the two cannot be the same. And he appreciates that they are not the same. And he researches on specific topics. Are you following me? I'm researching on every other topic that concerns our national life as Ghanaians.
So for the many who think he's doing a better job than you are at projecting particularly the president and the MPP government, you'd say to them that what?
Well, they are entitled to their opinions. As I said, please, I'm not interested in touting my achievements or my credentials. As I said, when I exit this place, history will record what we did. Look, for the first time in the history of the Ministry of Information, we have a 12-hour media monitoring center, fully equipped media monitoring center.
Oh, you didn't have that earlier?
Never existed in the ministry, never. We had a government mouthpiece called Ghana Today magazine. Has been defunct for 10 years, never was being published. Now we are publishing Ghana Today quarterly. When we came and we went around this whole country, many information service, district information officers said that for the past 10 years, this was the first time they were sitting face to face with a minister for information. When we came, information service vans across the district were all broken down. We've put many of them back on the road. We've equipped our district information officers with laptops and stuff to allow them to send us information. Look, what do we call that thing? Town hall meetings. We are launching the 2018 town hall meetings in Georgia on the 7th of May. For the first time, last year we organized 150 town hall meetings where we take government officials to the local communities, districts, where we sit with chiefs, community leaders, ordinary citizens, market women, and they ask government directly what it is government is doing for them, and we get them to answer. That program never existed until we came. All of these things are matters that history will record for me. I am very proud. Wallahi, I'm very, very proud. It's not just Accra. I can't just be sitting on Accra and sitting on Joy FM. Really, that's what people want me to do. I'm not going to do that. I will do the things as I said. When I exit, not even today, when I exit, all these things that I'm telling you about will be recorded as a novelty in the name of Dr. Abdul-Hamid Mustapha. So I'm very proud. It doesn't matter what people say. No.
Mustapha, the minority in Parliament particularly, they've issued a statement. They're saying that you lied. And that this won't be the first time you're lying, by the way. They are saying that you've been lying about quite a number of things. Key amongst them is the fact that you are saying the Mahama government spent over 3 billion cedis on employees at the Flagstaff, at the Jubilee House. Well, now Jubilee House, so let me put it that way. And that it can be true. So they are seeking two things from you. You either retract and apologize, or leave your post, resign. Which of them are you going for?
You know that it is in pages 21 and pages 22 of the Auditors General's report of the 2016 public accounts that they presented, that thing that they presented to you, that they spent 780 something million for Office of Government Machinery. That is what they submitted in the beginning of the year to spend. The media review, they upped it to 3 billion. By the end of the year, Auditor General says they spent 6 billion. I actually even put out 3 billion. Apparently, I had underestimated it. It is 6 billion. And I have the records, and you can go and take the 2016 Auditor General's report on audited accounts of the Office of Government Machinery. So projections is different from actual spend. They projected 708. That's what they are putting out. And then you as media should be an independent arbiter. You should go and take what actually happened versus what they have put out there. And then you tell the Ghanaian people who is lying, me or them.
So they are lying?
They are inaccurate. I will give them some respect and not say they are lying. But they are, with the greatest of respect to them, they are wrong.
There's one thing I just wanted to find out. The Ghana card, what has happened to it?
You see, you are asking me, if maybe I should tell you that go and speak to the NIA boss. Because we say that information minister is such a cheap job.
If some people who belong to a particular party seem to have issues with something.
And you expect NDC people to praise me that I'm doing well?
No, I'm not saying I'm expecting anybody
exactly.
to praise
So
you.
if NDC people are saying that I'm not doing well, please cut it out. If you want,
so you don't care about the things the NDC says? Anybody in the NDC, whether it's a
it depends on whether there is substance in it. If there is substance in it,
so you don't think there's substance in this?
There's no substance in it. What's the substance in it?
What's happening to the Ghana card? When are we getting them?
God willing, we have said that in May the process for issuing them would start.
Initially, we were told it was going to be at the end of April.
Yeah, it didn't happen, so it's okay. So it will happen in May.
So it's okay to promise, give deadlines, give timelines, and keep missing them?
It is not okay,
but you just mentioned it's okay. We are not getting them in April.
Yeah,
we get them
but
in
you are
May.
saying, because you want us to engage in a debate. It didn't happen. You have said that it didn't happen. That's a judgment. It's a correct judgment. It didn't happen. What am I supposed to say?
Why? What happened? How come we didn't get them in April as was promised?
Because all of the issues that needed to be resolved to get it on board were not resolved.
Do we, on this basis, say that several of the promises you made to us before coming to power, we shouldn't expect to see them materialize? One district, one factory, one village, one dam?
All of them will materialize, inshallah.
Within the 4-year period?
Inshallah.
Because you mentioned that you're going to do that in 4 years.
Yes, please.
I spoke to a few people recently, and they seem to have a bit of conflicting responses as to who speaks for the president. Who speaks for the president? Is it you or Eugene Ahin? Who speaks for the president?
I'm the Minister for Information and Presidential Spokesperson. I speak for government and the president. Eugene Ahin is Director of Communication. But of course, there are matters on which he also qualifies to speak. But before he speaks, he clears them with me.
Also, Eugene always has to clear with
you
before he
yes,
speaks.
but even ministers, deputy ministers, they clear. It depends on the strategy of the Minister for Information. There are questions that you will ask me. I'll call the Minister for Health and say, look, I want you to be the one to speak on this one. And he speaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not that there's any conflict of any sort
no,
and that somebody is fighting somebody or...
No.
Okay. You've done a good job at projecting one person for 11 years. Why don't you move beyond that and project the voices of several other people, maybe in your constituency, running for MP? Is that something you consider?
I don't know. My life is such that I live my life in the hands of Allah. Allah does with me what he wants to do with me. I don't plan the future. Perhaps I take Jesus Christ's advice that you live one day at a time and then let God do the rest.
So you don't want to be an MP? You don't want to help?
I haven't said that I don't want to be. I don't know what I will be. I don't know.
Let's now talk about the World Press Freedom Day. And for me, I was very excited when I heard Ghana was hosting it. We are the 5th country in Africa hosting this, right? That's if I'm right.
Yes.
Okay. So here in this context of Ghana, let me ask you, what do you think press freedom means to us, or what should it mean to us?
Well, it should mean that we should be more responsible. We should be able to hold governments to account.
You think we have any responsible media?
No, we don't have any response. I said we should be more responsible. There's always more room for improvement. So you are a very responsible media, but you can be excellently responsible.
So as Ghana hosts this, what do we seek to achieve, this World Press Freedom Day? Well,
we just hope to achieve, to deepen our democracy and broaden the frontiers of free speech and if you want, all of the freedoms, because all of the freedoms, assembly, etc., are premised on free speech. And so once we deepen that aspect of our national governance life, we can hope to end plaudits in the rest of the areas at all. So we hope that at the end of the day, we will come out smelling good as a country, because already we smell very good as far as the world community is concerned.
Mustapha Abdul-Hamid, thank you for your time.
Thanks, bro.
And Dr. Mustapha Abdul-Hamid has been our guest on 21 Minutes with KKB. He's been very strategic about a lot of answers he's given us. Of course, you know him. He's done this job for a long time, so it was expected. But yes, indeed, he's responded to most of our questions. And he's been talking also about the World Press Freedom Day. And we are entreating all and sundry, particularly if you belong to the media fraternity, to be a part of this. It's a 2-day program, right? It's a 2-day program. Okay, indeed. I don't know if people can still register at this particular point in time, or it's too late?
Yeah, the registration is still open.
It's still ongoing. Okay, that's fine. So we'll see how that pans out, and we'll see how best we can also tap into the expertise of the foreign nationals who may be coming into the country to also cover this very program. My name is Kwabena Chenchen. Many thanks for joining us for this edition of 21 Minutes with KKB. I'll see you soon, hopefully with another guest you are expecting.